Welcome to Blender for Architects with a short introduction to the principled shader. So this is a third principal tool simplifying your life with Blender. So we had the high quality rendering with ray tracing and cycles. We had the image composition, and now it's a one-fits-all principal shader. So you can do things with that which experts need year-long training 5 or 8 years ago. Now it's at your fingertips as an architect. And this is a tendency that all the things which had been to the experts losing their value because the tool's getting super fast, super generic, and the question now is what to do with it. And you as an architect are questioned by that. So this is your role. You don't need to get involved in expertise in these tools any longer. So keep that in mind. So what is this about with the principled shader? Let's have a look. First we want to build our simple scene. Add a plane, scale it by 6. Add a sphere. Round objects always have the problem that they are faceted, and if you want to have smooth surfaces, you need treatment for that, and they need care for that. So in this case, you have to specify the tool. Afterwards, it's always very complicated to change meshes. Now the system knows this is the generation of a sphere, and these are the parameters of this tool, not of the sphere. So go there, you're on the safe side then for 64 and 64. Now it's round, and you can say the shading should be smoothed. So, and now we have a pretty round sphere. Now bring that into position, move it on Z by 1, move it on X by 1, duplicate on X by -2. So it's like piano playing, so this modeling. So super fast, you have to learn it by heart. This is how it works. So go for the camera. Adjust the camera. So I think that's it. The rendering. Add light. Always use the sun. Put the sun direction. Diffuse the sun and strengthen it. This is our setup. Now the shaders. Select, for example, the plane. Check it in the outline editor. Go to this properties editor. Go to the shelf of material. And now we are in the material associated to the plane. Create a new material. Select the principal BSD. Do it always. So because 99% of what you need is there. So you get a shader with a huge amount of different parameters. You only need the color, you need the metallic, specular, roughness, and then you need transmission and IOR, refraction. That's it. The rest is for specialists. So go and have a demonstration of how it works. So we selected the plane. This is our material. We first have to give it a name. So this is our plane white. So now we give that to more metallic. So look how it works. Super simple. It simply works. It's getting metallic. You can go up with specular as well. And now give the roughness to make it shine. Beautiful. This is how you expect, very straightforward. And you don't have to need to learn more. That's so amazing. So go for the next one. Select the first sphere, check it here in the outliner. You can give it the plain white. Then you simply link the object to the material with the name plain white. Or you say, I want to have a new one, which duplicates the plain white. It's plain white 00. So we say this should be red metal. So first we change the color. Go here. You see, nice and direct and intuitive. And now we go down with the roughness. And we have the metal, red sphere, like on a Christmas tree. I find it incredible how smooth and fast it is. So, nothing to learn. Next one, this guy, again, you go for the plain, or you get for the red, or you get a new one, call it green glass. Now, go for green. See how it works. Good. Go down radial 0.1 around with a very light metallic shiny green. So go down with the metallic effect, go down with the specular, go down with the roughness to very low value. You always need a little one that keeps the surface interesting. So I now look at the transmission. I go up to make it transparent. And you see, it's really simply working. Very impressive. You really even have this lens effect. So, by the way, you can change it. No refraction. If you put it to 1, then it's straight transparent. If you want to have glass, it's 1.45. For water, it's different. Look it up in internet to get the table of different materials. So that's our setup. So we go for our view, and let's look at the rendering. So you have to check to simplify. We see a lot of parameters. It helps to increase the calculation. The speed, simply use this. You don't need to go in depth, and it normally works and speeds up rendering time. So here you should go with denoising. We will see how it works. Again, there are parameters, don't touch them. So now we go to our render shelf. We check the dimensions. We have the HDMI resolution. Go a little down to be speeded up for our demo, and start the rendering. And here we are. So we see the ray tracer and then the denoising in 2 steps. You see cockpit here, and this is our nice result. It needs no major work, so we can have a 100% high resolution rendering of that. It will have proper result. That's it. So I am really stunned by that. It's crazy. So 5 years ago, no way to do it. Computers are fast. These tools get generic. You really don't have to learn a lot. So it's simply there, and you should use it as an architect. So if you want to know more, now it's time to give you a hint, I think, for that. Go for the manual. go for the principled shader. Here, for example, this node, you have this. Go for, this is a spectrum of these parameters. We had this transmission and roughness, just the transmission. So here this is roughness against anisotropic. So you see, it's 3, 6, 9, 12 dimensions plus 3 dimensions in color, and it's a lot of combination, and you're extremely free in doing whatever you like. So that's it here. If you want to see the next thing, if you want to see how this is integrated into these nodes, you can, we have our principled shader here. You see all the menu. If you want to go and see how it's working in the nodes, then you have it here. So this is the shader of the sphere, and you see all the same parameters, and it's programmable. We will have that later. Keep that in mind. So it's not just the parameters here. You can make a huge system around controlling the different parameters on the different locations of your surface. So that's it. And yeah, I want to show you this guy. It's the Blender Guru on the principled shader. And here it's
This
principled.
is an important announcement.
Blender
Blender now comes built with a brand new shader, the principled shader. Now, normally when Blender gets a new shader, it lets you create one more type of material. But actually the principled shader is the shader to end all shaders, because it's basically every single shader rolled into one. This thing lets you create everything from plastic to plaster and marshmallows to jelly. It lets you create almost every type of known material in the real world. But as well as that, it also does a lot of things more physically accurate by default, and therefore is automatically more realistic by default. And finally,
okay, yeah, that's it. So keep in mind that look in these videos, look it around, so to get an idea, to get inspired and so on. But be careful with that. So Blender is not an architectural tool. So it's for animations, it's for modeling, it's for design and so on, but not for architecture. So we use it as a very generic tool that you get whatever you like to your hand. So keep in mind that it's important to keep things simple, that you get the principal ideas and keep your architecture in mind. So it's not about fancy things in what you want to do. So, but it's important to understand what they're doing. So look at these tutorials like following a soap or a series in TV, looking at every day for an hour, and continues. Yeah? So then you get an idea of how this works, but keep a stable position as architect, and keep in mind you are an architect and you want to do things which are not automatic with Blender. So I hope you find it interesting, and see you in the next movie.